Let me pull up here John chapter 6. Okay. We are drawn by God when we cooperate with the convicting power of the Holy Spirit. Okay? Jesus said in John 6, 43, do not murmur among yourselves. No man can come to me unless the Father who sent me draws him, and I will raise him up on the last day. It is written in the prophets, and they shall be taught of God. Every man, therefore, who hears and learns from the Father comes to me. Okay? So what we have here is something that is bilateral, not simply unilateral. Okay?
Okay.
So, Darth, Jesus says that all that the Father gives me will come to me. Who is that all that the Father gives? In your
Who?
yeah, who is that?
Those who God, in His foreknowledge, know that will be repentant during the course of their life.
Those. So you take God knowing, therefore He chooses based on His
Well,
foreknowledge.
first of all, what's the verse? Would you cite it,
I
please?
think I don't have my Bible open. Sorry, it's somewhere within 37 and 44. I think it's
John
37,
6:79.
39.
Okay, let me get this up in the New American Standard. Give me a second. Everything that the Father gives me will come to me, and the one who comes to me I will certainly not cast out. Okay, what about it?
Yeah. So
We
Jesus says, "All that the Father gives me will come to me." So those
Yes.
that are given to the given to the Son by the Father will come. It's definite.
Yeah. Right. They will come, but okay. But the issue is, don't confuse that it will happen, that it will necessarily occur. There's a difference. Okay. I will eat something for lunch, but I won't necessarily eat something. Okay. Do you understand the difference?
So okay. Well, I see what you're trying to say. So clarification.
No. Are you a Calvinist?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So this is the problem that I deal with Calvinists. What you are doing is you have a Calvinist notion of tulip, and you read that back into these verses. In verse 37, this verse does not unequivocally teach unconditional election or irresistible grace. Just says all that the Father gives me, everything that the Father gives to me will come. Okay. Now the question is, whom does the Father give to the Son? But you see, in your view, it's those who are unconditionally, unilaterally, and unconditionally elected, and then regenerated and irresistibly drawn. But the text doesn't say that. But that's how you're reading it.
Well, yeah, that's how I was getting your perspective. But I would say
All
those
that
who are
the
given
Father,
to the.
okay, this verse, all that the Father gives to me, everything that the Father gives to me will come to me. That passage right there does not prove tulip.
Yeah, I don't.
Don't you understand? When John chapter 6, Jesus is repeatedly reiterating his self identity claims and vis a vis in relationship to his plan with the Father. Okay, he's constantly talking about the Father, himself, and the sheep. Okay, now what's the context of this passage? Do you know what the what do you know what the
Yes.
one of the fundamental issues here? What is the fundamental issue in this text?
Well, basically, he introduces this theme with saying he's the bread of, he's the bread that comes down from heaven, giving
Right.
life to all those who believe. Because the Jews are
So
questioning about him, like,
what?
what sign will you give us?
Right, right.
Yeah.
No. No. It's even more than that. Okay. What 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 provoked Jesus to say no one can come to me unless the Father who draws him? What provoked Jesus to say that? Do you
The
know?
Jews questioning. I don't, like I said, I don't have the Bible open right now, so I don't have
Well,
it
the
off
answer
the top of
is
my head.
they were grumbling amongst themselves
Yeah.
because they thought that he was one of their own. You see, if Jesus were merely making identity claims, that would be one thing that they could object to. But that wasn't the simple issue. It was his identity claims in conjunction where he was drawing large numbers of followers and disciples. And this is what they were objecting to. Okay? When they said, I am the bread, when Jesus said, and some of the Jews were complaining about him because he says, I am the bread that came down from heaven. And they were saying, is this not Jesus, the son of Joseph, whose father and mother we know? How does he now say, I have come down from heaven? Now, they weren't just merely objecting to his identity claims, they were objecting to the people who were following him. Okay? Now, if he wasn't drawing large crowds and people who were believing in him, then they would just say, well, he's crazy. Okay? And that is what prompted Jesus to respond to that. So he kept on reiterating his self identity claims, his relationship with the Father, and with true believers. And he's constantly distinguishing between the goats and the sheep. And he's reiterating God's purpose and plan that he's sent from the Father, okay? And that he is going to have a set number of followers that come to Jesus under the Father's blessing and sanction. So everything that he's saying hereafter from verse 43, or excuse me, 41, is a rebuke to them. So when he says, all that the Father gives to me will come, because you're a Calvinist, you are reading into that tulip. But this doesn't necessarily represent the doctrines of tulip.
Well, I'm
It could
asking.
just simply him,
I just need
yeah.
you to clarify.
It
Who do you say who do you think that those given to the Father gives to the Son are? Who are they?
although all those who will ultimately be saved, God gives them to Jesus. Okay, they're okay. Do you know the difference between corporate and individual election?
Yeah, I do. So
Okay,
the corporate
so
view of election would be
right,
that.
but you see, you'll read into this verse unconditional individual unilateral election. I don't. I read into it corporate election.
Yeah, yeah, but
That
I know that's what you read into it. But I'm not, I'm saying like what I see is Jesus is speaking about individuals because he says all those
okay,
who.
okay.
So it's speaking
Can
about
you
people with.
exegete unconditional individual election out of that verse?
Well, I think the people who are listening to. I think the people
No.
who are
Does this
listening.
verse unequivocally teach unconditional election?
Um, I would say yes because, and let me tell you why I would say that.
Where
Let me tell you why I would say
really
that.
everything that the Father gives to me will come
Hmm.
to me. In other words, God has given a certain group of people to Jesus, and they will come. In other words, he's not going to fail or illegitimately drawing a group of people.
Well, I don't think it's.
There,
Well,
where does verse
I'll
7
tell you.
say it's where in verse 37 do you get unconditional individual election? Where?
Hmm. Yeah. So I'd say the people are coming to Christ as a result of being given to Him by the Father. So they're coming.
Oh, okay. Well,
All
no,
right. So wait,
stop
hold
right
on one
there.
second. Let me
That's
finish real
not
quick,
that's
Darth.
not what the text says.
Darth, hold on one second.
Okay.
Let
Yeah,
me
you're
get my.
reading your Calvinism into the
I'm
text.
not, because it says
Yes, you
all that the
are.
Father gives me will come to me, and so
All that the Father
those
gives me,
me.
they'll come. They will come.
Yeah, you have to let me get my point out though, because
Hmm.
I'm trying to explain to you my viewpoint. You can rebuttal it, but just at least let me give you my
No,
position.
there's not a word rebuttal. Excuse me, rebuttal it. It's rebut.
Okay. So yeah, Jesus says all that the Father gives me will come to me. So those who come to the Son, it is as a result of being given. And so the reason I came to the
Stop, no,
Son is
no, stop
because
right
I
there.
was
Stop right
given
there.
to the
That's not
Son
what the
by.
text said. That's not what the text says. See, what you just did, a classic error in hermeneutics. You are reading your doctrine of tulip into this verse.
Well, can you show me how I'm doing that? Because you say that,
Yeah,
but
because the text doesn't say that.
can you show me what it says?
No, it says all that the Father gives me will come to me. In other words, Jesus again is reiterating his relationship with the Father. The Father has said that there are a certain group of people that will be given to Jesus, and he says, and they will come to me. In other words, that he will not fail to bring about a following of people legitimately coming to him at God's sanction. Nowhere, you see this is the problem that people who hold to certain theological distinctions with zeal and passion. You're reading back into the text. All that the Father gives me, it will come to me. Okay? There's no unconditional individual election or irresistible grace right there. You're reading that back into the text. In other words, this has to mean you're be commensurate with your doctrine of tulip because you believe tulip is true. But I don't accept tulip.
I know, but I need you to show me how the text doesn't teach that. You just said because I'm a
Everything that the
Calvinist over
Father
here.
gives to me, they will. Do you know the difference between something will happen versus it will necessarily happen?
If Jesus says something will happen, does that mean?
I just asked you a question, young man. Okay?
Yeah,
Do you understand the difference between something will versus it necessarily will come about?
yeah, and I see what you're saying, but what I'm saying is, Jesus, if he says something will happen, that means it will
Yeah.
happen. That doesn't mean it's
hmm
necessarily will happen. Maybe will happen. It will.
Everything that, okay, what Jesus is saying is there's a certain group of people that God has given to Jesus, and they will end up coming to him. In other words, those people that God gives to Jesus, they will not fail to come to him.
As a result of
That
being
in and of
given,
its
right?
no. Okay, you see, here's where the problem where you're coming from. You're now imposing your Calvinistic theology.
Well, that's just what it
Okay,
says. It says they are coming because
okay,
they were given by the Father.
Devin. I'm not going to belabor the point further with you. You have tunnel vision here. Listen carefully. You are believing that those who are given to Jesus, that the only reason why they come is because they're given.
Is that not what the text says when Jesus
No,
in
it
the
does. No, it does
context?
not. All that
Yeah.
the Father gives to me, it will happen. In other words,
Mhm.
it will not fail to happen.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I'm saying.
Right? But it doesn't. It doesn't. What you are saying is that you are reversing the order here. You're saying the only reason why they come is because they're given to
So
him.
can someone
See
come
what you
to Christ
hey
without
hey
being given by the Father?
Devin, listen to me. What you are now doing is what every Calvinist does. You're jumping from the verse to a debate about theology.
No,
Okay?
I'm reading a verse.
Okay.
Let me ask a
You're not getting
clarification question.
Devin, listen to me. You're not getting this. This
I'm
is what
getting it.
every Calvinist has done for over 40 years that I deal with them. When they cite a certain verse and they can't exegete clearly and unequivocally what the text says to support their Calvinism, they immediately start switching to theological questions.
No, I'm not.
The issue is what, okay, listen carefully. All that the
Mhm.
Father gives to me will come to me. Now, what's the opposite? Okay.
All
There
that the
could be a
Father
group.
doesn't give the
Let me
Son.
let me finish.
Okay, but you have to let me
Listen,
speak after.
hey, listen, little boy, you don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, let him
If you want to
speak.
keep on cutting me
Can you
off,
please let him speak?
if you want to keep, okay,
You're
remove
the one that's
Anthony
cutting him
from.
off.
Do me a favor,
You're the one
remove
that's cutting him
Anthony.
off. He's literally
Hey,
reading the text
Brojo,
and you're cutting him off.
if you don't start moderating, I'll leave. Okay, because I'm not going to
Just
put up with
leave.
this
Leave.
trolling.
This isn't your room. Just leave.
Are you there, Brojo?
Just leave.
Okay,
I mean, he's literally reading the
all
text.
right,
We're just
I'm
following the
okay.
All right,
Bible.
wait.
I'm
Chill out,
done.
chill out,
I'm
chill
done.
out, chill out. Guys, chill out, chill out. Wait. We'll let Devin speak for a bit, and then we'll
Now,
let Darth.
the both of you are trolling. Okay,
I'm not trolling at all. I promise.
yeah, you are because you keep on cutting me off and you're being an impulsive teenager. Did I not have problems with you the other day?
The other day,
Yeah, were you not acting unbecomingly as a teenager?
what does my age have to do with this?
It has to do with your teenage behavior. You were trolling the other day. Do you not recall? Do you think I forgot?
Will recall what
Do
exactly?
you think I forgot your bad behavior the other day?
Darth, saying I had bad
Okay,
behavior
listen to
was
me,
subjective.
Devin, listen to me. I have sneakers older than you. Okay? Now, I'm going to give you one more chance. If you don't start acting like an adult, the conversation's over. Okay? What people like you do, especially teenagers and people who have a teenage mindset, is they think that bickering makes for debate, and it doesn't. Okay? I'm trying to explain to you, okay, when it says all or everything the Father gives to me will come, as opposed to what? That those whom the Father gives won't come because in some way Jesus will fail. Jesus is simply just reiterating that he's sent from the Father. He has a mission, that there's a group of people that have been given to him, and they will come to him without fail. But you see, you are reversing this, okay? Right? What you're saying is the giving is what makes them come. The text doesn't say that.
Does
Okay?
the text not say that they're coming as a result of being given?
No, you're not getting this. This verse does
He's
not
literally reading the
unequivocally
text, Darth.
teach. Okay, all right. I'm gonna
He's
leave because
literally reading the
Brojo
text.
is absent. Okay.
Don't leave,
Why
bro.
was he okay, hold on a second. Who invited him back in here?
I'm not sure, Darth, but you can go ahead with the
Okay. Now you
say.
need to remove him from the room. Okay, somebody wait a minute. Somebody invited him up on stage. Who invited him up on stage?
Not sure.
Well, it was either you, Paul, or Devin. Who invited him up on stage?
It's not me, bro. I'm telling you, I don't know.
Okay, Devin or Paul, who invited him up on stage?
He's removed from the room anyways, so we can
No,
carry on
no.
with the conversation.
I asked Devin and Paul a question. Are you guys gonna answer me? Okay, guess what then? I won't be talking with Devin or Paul ever again. Okay, you
Bro,
want to play that little game?
he's not in the room, man. Man, I'll spit on your face, you filthy dog. He's not in the room, dirty dog.
This
What
guy,
the heck?
Johan.
I just removed him
Anyways,
from the room and it's still going on about it. Weirdo.
no, I just find it funny that every time he gets in a conversation with somebody, he references their age when he's the one acting like a child. I was just asking him questions about what the text says, and he wouldn't answer me.